jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
Once again, you're tuned in to World Combat Sports. Man, salute to the weekend for everybody that's out there. You know what I'm saying? Salute to your weekend. Salute to prosperity and good health and everything else. You know what I'm saying? Salute to prosperity and good health and everything else. You heard? You know? Man. Very, very interesting. But first of all, I want to give a big salute to the WCS supporters. Man, keep on doing your thing, dropping in. You know, that's what it's about. Keep on supporting the channel. Keep on let me know there is some boxing fanatics out here that support real content. You know what I'm saying? And not storylines and narrative pushers and you know, dumpster divers and people just willing to get dirty on everything. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to this YTC shit. But yeah, I appreciate everybody who understands what it is with World Combat Sports. Be sure to follow me on all social media. I dumped a lot of content on IG the other night. You know, from what I be learning on these conversations is being had behind the scenes with certain people. You know, anybody and everybody is willing to believe a lie. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy because my YouTube catalog is out there with the videos, but I guess the pictures per se that I post mostly on Facebook and IG, you know, people don't pay attention to that. But, you know, I pretty much dropped some sprinkles of my catalog out there on IG for your viewing pleasure, just so people can understand. And yes, I'm still going at the heads of those who are coming at me. You know what I'm saying? This whole situation is far blown out of proportion when you have individuals with two eyes, right? Two eyes. And they'll sit up here and think views on the channel means things, like down to the last number. It means something. It means something to the people who just want to ignore what realization is. You know what I'm saying? What the reality is out here. Reality is I see a channel with 100K subscribers, but yet you only have 300 people tuned in. For me, that is fabrication. That is somehow the numbers have been induced from some type of artificial dissemination that's either paid for or whatever the case may be. You can pretty much put the rest of the shit together. We don't need to complete a formula of deductive reasoning to try to figure out how that all works. I don't care if I have human beings that's in my live chat that are more comfortable with looking at the numbers in here, and they only seeing about a good 10 people comment in the live chat, but yet they see 100 motherfuckers tuned in. That should tell you right there, wake the fuck up, dog. Wake up. YouTube has allowed for manipulation of the algorithm. It has. It's many areas to YouTube as far as the way they've configured this platform that they can deceive the viewing audience. And believe it or not, it works even with older people. I remember when they was talking to me and they say, "Hey, you need to get your numbers up." I say, "I'm not spending no money on no numbers." And they say, and they was like, "No, your subscribers." I say, "So you're trying to tell me this number equals that number? The number of subscribers. Let's just say you have 50 subscribers, but every time you go live, you only have 5 to 7 people tuned in. What percentage do you grade the accuracy and accountability of those numbers? You give it a low grade, right?" Anyway, moving on. I want to talk about Errol Spence Jr. He seems to be the topic of discussion. I just want to get some clarification to this. You're looking at my thumbnail, and I took a screenshot of his interview with Kevin Iole from Yahoo Sports. It's 2018 to the lead up of his fight with Lamont Peterson, and 2022. This interview was to the lead up with his fight with Yordenis Ugas. All right. My whole point for that is I want to highlight certain things, because when it comes down to selective amnesia, or just overlooking certain points that has pretty much merit to it, it has validation. The shit has evidence to it. I think a lot of what people are looking over rather, is the fact that Errol Spence is not the same guy that was below in 2018. He's not the same guy, and I'm gonna show you why. I'm gonna show you why. Grown adults need to get out their feelings and stop telling people so and so hating on a person that you haven't even been around long enough to get a one-on-one interview. And I myself, I've never been the braggadocious type, but I will brag on myself tonight, because there's too many of y'all out here that's believing the numbers on YouTube are where the facts lie. You know what I'm saying? You're walking around with a pillowcase, and you're trying to convince people everything you have inside is those gold nuggets. You know what I'm saying? Jewels, frankincense, and all this other shit. I have an issue with y'all not understanding that it was people that was out here in the field getting the media shit done, and one behind the mic. That's the way it was, man. Whether you want to believe it or not, one behind the mic. He was out there visiting, attending, you know what I'm saying, putting in time, hours on the clock. You know what I'm saying? That's what we was doing. That's what I was doing out there. But right now, the Spence ordeal, the saga, is deeper than what y'all imagine. It's deeper than what y'all want to recognize. That Spence may not have a long career. He may not have, but only, that's if he makes it to this fight. Now, what I mentioned earlier about people getting in their feelings, why are you mad about media reporting when I never see anyone going live at the ESPN headquarters and having something to say with Stephen A. Smith? When Max Kellerman was on there, you weren't saying shit about Max Kellerman. Y'all had something to say about Deontay Wilder and what he said. He don't think, not Deontay Wilder, Andre Ward, when he said something about Deontay Wilder. He kind of made the insinuation that he wasn't ready, or he didn't want that smoke with Fury again. I didn't see y'all jumping through and kicking out his windows and say, "Hey, son of God, what do you mean by that? You're a prominent figure in this sports game." But nah. Man, listen, man. How many times I gotta tell you, I don't take none of this shit personal. But when people take personal aims at me, that's when I'll say, okay, I do have what it takes to return fire the right way. You know what I'm saying? That just means that you're hopelessly desperate that he's able to pull this off. You want Spence to go in there and fight Ugas, win, and then you hope to God that somehow, some way, PBC can link up and assign Crawford Spence to a contract. That's exactly what you want. You want that assignment. You want somehow, some way for that assignment to happen, and you want to see Terrence Crawford just go over there and lay himself on the mercy of the doorstep of PBC and take anything they offer him. But my situation is it doesn't take long to process this shit. I'm saying to myself, how is a grown ass man that's feeding a family? Both of them have families. Errol Spence has a family, Crawford has a family. Why would you want him to go over there to basically step outside his 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 um his circle of integrity, and you want him to go and basically execute something you wouldn't do. You want him to go out here and do something you wouldn't do. You want him to make a ill-advised decision when you have criticized him for being with Top Rank and said that was ill-advised. So if Top Rank was ill-advised and you felt that he worked for Bob Arum, the white man, and all this other stuff, now you want him to go to the black man and take less money and put himself in a predicament so you can laugh at him when it's all said and done. You want, just because Errol Spence isn't capable of surpassing or superseding Terrence Crawford on the pound for pound list, you want to hope that if he goes over to PBC, they tie him into a contract where it would be no other way but to see Errol Spence as the higher tier fighter. It doesn't work that way, people. I mean, seriously, it's not going to work that way. What is this plea we talking about? This outcry, when you have a myriad of individuals out here that has this outcry, this protest that's going on, and they want him to go over there to PBC just to make one fight. I thought that's what they tried to do with Canelo. Canelo went over there, fought Caleb Plant. He didn't stay around for no other fights. They paid him the money that he requested. But y'all want Crawford to come over here and sign a multi-fight deal with PBC? Did Canelo sign a multi-fight deal? So if Canelo didn't sign a multi-fight deal, why are y'all placing that demand on Terrence Crawford? Just go over here and kowtow and kiss the shoes. You know what I'm saying? Just kiss his shoes and say, I'm here at your mercy. I don't see a man like Terrence Crawford being that type of person. King Mitch on deck, man. I see you. Come back, what up? Spence versus Ugas should be a great fight. Looking forward to Big Fish whooping him. Andrew Charles, WCS, salute to you, my brother. I mean, people look for Fish, to do certain things all the time until the fishermen got down, yanked that hook up, and they find themselves dangling in midair, and they can't do shit about it. Like, damn, I'm moving my body, but I can't go nowhere. I'm just saying, what's a big fish to a fisherman, that Mitch? What haven't I told you this type of shit before? But back to Errol Spence. I want y'all to hear some audio. It's audio from the 2022 interview, and it's audio from the 2018. I want y'all to distinguish, because y'all intelligent human beings, the difference in this audio. You know what I'm saying? And then I want you to say to yourself, is this concern? Is this drawing up a distinct conclusion for concern? Is this a huge health problem that people are trying to ignore because they're selfishly engaged to see Errol Spence go ahead and fight Terrence Crawford, knowing that he's not in the best health? Like, listen to him talk is just like, in my opinion, listen to Devin Alexander and some other fighters that's out there. But check this out. Listen to this audio. The first method of audio will be from the 2022.
Welterweight champion of the world, a guy who has been pretty much at the top of the rankings since he turned pro in 2012 after the Olympics, of course. That's Errol Spence Jr. Errol, how you doing, my friend?
Doing good. Can't complain. Everything's going great.
I am glad to hear that on April 16th at AT&T Stadium. And your hometown of Dallas, I guess Arlington, Texas, to be exact. You were going to be fighting your Dennis Ugas in a pay-per-view fight, an interesting fight. But before we get into Ugas and the challenge he presents you, I have to ask you about your eye. We were all worried about you when you had to pull out of the Manny Pacquiao fight with the detached retina. How was your sight, and can you fill us in a little bit on what happened and how you first noticed the injury?
I feel like, it happened in sparring, and, I heard a pop, and I was like, my eye, and then, it took probably like 15 seconds, and then I went out there and sparred some more.
So right there, I don't think I heard anything funny, but that's just, in my opinion, that's him going through some things when he's trying to explain himself or to gather his thoughts. And this is going to happen several times throughout the video all of a sudden, because nothing's he's speaking on is funny. He's not engaging with Ioli, who's saying anything funny, but also you can hear the drag in his tone. You know what I'm saying, with Errol Spence.
I didn't know what was going on or anything about it, but I started seeing like little clouds and things like that off of my peripherals. But I really, sometimes as athletes, you really don't worry about it, because you don't want anybody professional looking at it. Then next thing you know, you can't fight or do anything. So I ignored it and things, and then when I went to go do my eye test, which I should have done
before you got to Vegas.
Yeah, I did my eye test in Dallas, and he was like, "Man, something looks weird in your eye. I think you need to go see, a specialist." And he said, "I got a couple specialists, whatever." He was like, "Do you see a cloud?" And I'm acting like I don't know what he's talking about. I'm like,
what is Spence laughing at? I'm just curious. I'm not trying to be facetious about anything. I'm just saying, what is he laughing at? There's nothing he said that would be considered, comedic. That's all. I mean, what are we grinning and smiling and laughing about?
it's like a little cloud trying to make it, seem like it's just some small, while like I still see and stuff like that. And then, I basically, told my coach and dad and all that. And then, I was still training and stuff. And then we flew out to Vegas to go see, basically the boxing people. And they looked in my eye and stuff. And then, like, in a matter of like 10 seconds, it was like, nah. It was like, I got some good news and bad news. Good news is it's not all the way detached, so you can stick it back on, put it back on. But the bad news is you're not fighting. And then it was just telling me that I could lose mine and all this if I fight and things like that. If I would fight, if they didn't catch it, I'd lose mine and stuff like that. At that time, I'm just like, I wasn't really, worried about them. Like, what if I promise you that, I'm not going to get touched that much? And I got another eye too. So.
Well, Errol, I want to ask you this because I know anybody who knows you or has been around you, you're a father, you're a family man, your kids are at the...
So you see how Kevin Iole is trying to clean this up? He sees it. He's going to bring in more softer topics. His family, his kids. He sees what's going on. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to, lighten the conversation a bit.
Gym a lot when you're working out. Did that pop into your head? Like, hey, I'm a young guy and I have a long life with these kids and I want to be able to see them, watch them grow up. And what am I doing here?
Look at Iole. He's mimicking the same thing. He didn't say anything that was super funny, but hey.
I feel like, I had one eye, so I feel like I had another eye. So even if I lose this eye, I can easily see my kids and grow up with this other eye. So I just felt like I just still want to fight. The competitor in me, still want to fight, even though I know now that. Right. And now that moment is gone, like I'm like, man, that was foolish. Still trying to fight, but just the competitor in me and it's being so close to the fight, I just wanted, just the opportunity just to fight.
This is Kevin Ioli on you.
Okay, that was the first, that was just a portion of the 2022 interview. What I wanted to get clarification on and let my audience hear that is how the transition has been different for Errol Spence from 2018 to 2022. Why I played this one? Because I wanted to give you a feel as to who you're listening to right now instead of playing the 2018 to 2022. I want to let you hear what you're dealing with, what you're listening to right now, and the clarity in it. You know what I'm saying? Or the lack thereof. Now, this next one is from 2018. Look how sharp, concise that he's responding to questions, how he's carrying on the dialogue. You know what I'm saying? How, he doesn't have to have that hesitation. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't seem like he's searching and trying to find answers or thoughts. Everything is linking up pretty quickly. You know what I'm saying? His thought process is jumping to synapses and he's doing just fine. Check it out.
Sports boxing once again. I just want to tell a story as I introduce my guest here. In 2012, after the Olympics were over, I called a bunch of boxing people and said, what do you think of Errol Spence? Who does he remind you of? I called Eric Gomez from Golden Boy Promotions, and he said, Sugar Ray Leonard. I called Sugar Ray Leonard, and I said, what do you think of Errol Spence? And he said, wow. And now Errol Spence is with us. He's the IBF world champion at welterweight, 22-0 with 19 knockouts. Errol, I know you've been in the ring with Floyd Mayweather, Adrian Broner, a lot of great guys. You won the title by beating Kell Brook in England. But does it give you goosebumps when you hear people compare you to people like Mayweather or like Sugar Ray Leonard?
I mean, not necessarily. I mean, I'm flattered by it and things like that. But, I still know that, I have to go out there and prove it, So, I kind of, I kind of use it as never too high, never too low, just right in the middle. I'm not going to let it get to me. I don't let it affect me, mentally wise or, how I perform in the ring or how I train. So I know I still have to prove it. Them comparing me to Floyd and Sugar Ray Leonard and things like that, that's big shoes to fill. So, I just keep a level head and, keep my head down and keep working, so to speak.
You fight Lamont Peterson on Saturday, January 20th in Brooklyn. Lamont's a really tough guy. How do you break down that fight? He's a guy that likes to tend to attack a little bit, and with your power, I think that might be an interesting fight.
I think it's a great fight. Especially for my first title defense, fighting somebody like Lamont Peterson, a guy who can, he can really fight. He has a lot of experience. He's crafty, and like you said, he'll come forward if he has to and make it a tough fight. So, thanks to a great title defense, I think it's great experience, and I think it'll be an action-packed fight for as long as it lasts.
The welterweight division, I think, right now is really incredible with how many great fighters there are. And Terrence Crawford coming in, there's enough.
So, do y'all see the difference? Y'all see the difference in that response time? It's obvious. The coherency is different. You know what I'm saying? The sharpness is very, very different in how he's basically gathering the data for which he's been asked and then processing it and recalling it. You know what I'm saying? To the recipient. I mean, it's much more clear, concise, sharp, and his rhythm and flow is different. This is 4 years ago, just about 2018 to 2022. If you can't see dramatically how much he's changed since the accident, I don't know what to tell you. You in denial. You know what I'm saying? You're in absolute denial. Shout out to Mr. Gumbo in the building. What's going on there, Mr. Gumbo? One love to you. Thank you for the dang super chat, Mr. Gumbo. He says, salute WCS. Salute to you, my brother. Appreciate you. Thanks for donating to the channel. King Mitch says, Spence appears to be a straight shooter, putting no extra on it, telling the truth about the eye injury and how he was thinking and feeling about it. What does that tell you about Spence, though? Because, I'm going to tell you my take, opinion-wise, it seems like he's on medication or something. It seems like something isn't quite right. He might be on brain food. I don't know. Because if he's not on brain food, then I don't I don't know if people are just really paying attention to his slurred speech and how he's unable to quickly process such simple language and simple response and simple dialogue. Yeah, he's talking. Yeah, he's still able to listen, but maybe there might be some type of enhancement, some type of supplement to help him process what he's listened to so he can respond. Take that away, he might be even slower than what he's providing to the audience. For real, he might be even slower. His response time might be, that much delayed, so to speak. I mean, you getting on speaking to somebody like Ioli from Yahoo Sports. Yeah, you want to be on your game, but it's hard to be on your game if you are, the Errol Spence in 2022 vice the one in 2018. Seriously. You look at the one in 2018, Errol is just snap, 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 snap. He's responding. He's there. You know what I'm saying? 2022, he's saying some things and then he's automatically quick draw reaction to something. I forgot the name they use for that in college, in psychology class. I forgot what that's called. It's not outburst. It's sort of like an outburst, but it's something else. I forgot the name. But he's being this guy who's taking himself to a different place to joke around a little bit. And being he never been that person, it can't be because he's gotten older. It's obviously something dealing with him neurologically. Now, of course, I have to put this disclaimer out here. I'm no way, shape, or form professionally qualified to give him any prognosis. I'm just basing my opinion off what I'm hearing with the way he was talking and him just, having an outburst, laughing on something that's not considered funny to us. You know what I'm saying? But I think what a lot of people are doing while their emotions and feelings are getting so wrapped up into this is the fact that he survived a horrific accident. He does have family, and they're trying to pretty much micromanage him as much as possible and get behind him and push and push and push, hoping for some type of change, dramatic change to happen. That's what I see. Like, that's why they're going so hard to refute everybody that's going against the grain, so to speak, or going with the flow, because I consider this going with the flow with Errol Spence. Like, I'm just telling you what I feel. You know what I'm saying? You can go all the way back to when the Midman in Floyd's camp, Nate was the first one to mention, and people, kind of felt a little bit about it, but he the first one to put it out there, really, way back when. But I think we have so many people that's coddling Spence right now, and they want to see him do well. It's just humanistic nature. You know what I'm saying? Humanistic behavior to, sometimes people that fucked up, they survived such a horrific accident. And then, the onlookers, they would sit there and become invested. You know what I'm saying? They would look on with vested interest. Now they're more emotionally involved. They feel softer. They want to see him go out here and achieve greatness because he's, survived, so to speak. But check this out. Just because he went in there with Danny Garcia doesn't make him 100% healthy. Just because they put out a video, obviously, of a compilation of clips that are not all from 2022. We have grown adults up here acting like, yeah, that's him right now, right here. That's not. I'm telling you, that's not. All those clips they put out there is not current clips. You know what I'm saying? And when I speak on other people's topics and I go on all these other, I drop in and put my ear to the window of these other channels that's talking about Spence, I want you to understand one thing. A haircut has absolutely nothing to do with him. That's just a style that's over there in Texas. You know what I'm saying? For whatever reason, people go through styles all the time. You know what I'm saying? They grow their hair out, they get it braided, they shave it off, and then they may grow it out again and groom it a different way. It happens every day. It's nothing new. Really, it isn't. For him to be wearing a shag right now, why didn't he think about that any other time? You know what I'm saying? Errol Spence said he hadn't knocked out anybody in a long time. Was it really a priority for him to knock people out? If it was, he would have got a shag. This is pointless. This is gallimacious talk, man. Real talk. This has absolutely nothing to do with adulthood. This is childish banter where you kick it, when you was young with your little childhood friends and y'all just talk back and forth and just say anything. A shag has absolutely nothing to do with enhancing his performance. Absolutely nothing. For one, you can't hit your opponent in the back of the head. So we really don't know how the shag is gonna be defensively sound against a glove. You know what I'm saying? What type of protection or force field does it possess? None, probably. Then the shag is only a part of his scalp, which is hair. Hair hasn't been known to really generate any type of internal force other than what we generate on our own. The electricity that's internal to our physical anatomy, the shag really hasn't been able or proven that it induces some type of superpower so we can go ahead and do immortal things. That's just fact, man. Awkward laughing and signs someone isn't comfortable speaking on whatever topic might be. The older interview, they're asking him boxing questions. I totally look, Andrew. I totally agree in your reply with that. But this is what I have to say about it. If I play it back again, what was so uncomfortable when he was leading and he was kind of talking about his own. Now I totally get what you're talking about. You're talking about the eye. You talking about going through the process of finding out that your eye was messed up and what you should have did. When you should have got the eye test and so forth. I understand it. But even boxing questions can be tough for someone who's not inclined to answer them. So let's go back a little bit. You say he was just answering boxing questions in the 2018 interview. Let me listen to this. Let's listen to this again.
And I always enjoy talking to my next guest, the welterweight stadium in your hometown of Dallas, I guess Arlington, Texas, to be exact. You were going to be fighting your Dennis Ugas in a pay-per-view fight, an interesting fight. But before we get into Ugas and the challenge he presents you, I have to ask you about your eye. We were all worried about you when you had to pull out the Manny Pacquiao fight.
No, I ignored it, things, and then when I went to go do my eye test, which I should have done
before you got to Vegas.
Yeah, I did my eye test in Dallas, and he was like, "Man, something looks weird in your eye. I think you need to go see, a specialist." And he said, "I got a couple specialists, whatever." He was like, "Do you see a cloud?" And I'm asking like, I don't know what he's talking about. I'm like, it was like a little cloud trying to make it, seem like it's just something small, but I can still see and stuff like that. And then, I basically, told my coach and dad and all that. And I was still training and stuff. And then we flew out to Vegas to go see, basically the boxing people. And they looked in my eye and stuff, and then like in a matter of like 10 seconds, it was like nah. It was like I got some good news and bad news. It said good news is it's not all the way detached, so you can stick it back on, put it back on. But the bad news is you're not fighting. And then it was just telling me that I could lose my eye and all this if I fight, things like that. If I would fight, if they didn't catch it, I'd lose my eye and stuff like that. At that time, I'm just like, I wouldn't really, worry about.
There's not only so much I can listen to with that. You know what I'm saying? I do agree with you. Certain percentage, a high percentage of people being uncomfortable, but that's the fighter who's had several interviews before, and the way he's having these outbursts not only happen here, but it's gonna happen outside of Ioli. You know what I'm saying? Um, Flawless came in here with a different mentality. Look, I'm not totally sure. I don't know if you've been on here before, but I can read, characters and text in lowercase. You know what I'm saying? I too have a college degree. You know what I'm saying? I can read. And if you come on here, you say hosted by Dr. Mark, if you hold that title, why are you so upset? Whether it's via a doctor's degree or some type of form of the position that you hold professionally. He says that's absolutely dumb as whatever. He put FXX because you probably couldn't put the word due to my rules that I have. Okay. And you're right. You have no authority to have an imaginary opinion. I do have authority. I'm in control of myself. That's my authority. My authority is the freedom of speech. And unlike many on here, I'm able to pretty much sort out what I want to talk about. And I don't have to use slang or obscenities or scatology over and over again. I don't speak with belligerence all the time unless I'm addressing somebody who presented belligerence to me. So don't tell me what I don't have authority to do. It seemed like you speaking for yourself. That might be an insecurity that you didn't have growing up. You have no authority to imagine, to have an imaginary opinion to anyone. This sounds like a little kid or someone that's utterly have their brain in park. You know what I'm saying? You're talking to an adult. Have an imaginary opinion to anyone but Bud. I don't know what DXX riders are. Because when I hear grown men continue to speak of that, I think that's your own infatuation. That's what you think about doing your downtime. When you're talking about riding someone else, the same gender as yourself, I think that's a fantasy that you have when the lights go off. And you know what I'm saying? You have that private time. Because I hear too many of y'all come on here and say the same thing all the time. That does nothing to a mature individual who understands what's going on in life. But for the childish ones, you always sit up here and speak of demasculization, and you put it in the form of acting like if I present this with aggressive um, intent, you know what I'm saying? If I'm malicious with it, it's gonna pierce everybody the same. That's not the case, bro. I mean, you sound crazy. You know what I'm saying? It sounds like you missed some grades, man. You didn't complete school when on time when you were supposed to. You wasn't raised correctly. You was around a group of people that really wasn't your support system. You was absent of mentors in your life. Something. You know what I'm saying? You might have been abused. I'm not sure. No one even said the dumb shit you're talking about and whatever else he's talking about. No one no one is supposed to say it when you're speaking for yourself. You understand? Like that's what it's called, speaking for yourself. The way you're expressing yourself right now doesn't seem nothing. It doesn't seem even remotely close to being flawless. It seems absolutely opposite. I don't even understand why you even dropped that comment on here, because you have doctor in your title, but yet you're speaking as a child. Maybe you need to go back and goddamn pay for a correspondence course, grade level. You know what I'm saying? 1 through about 5 or 6th grade, and kind of rehash some of uh, um those learning curves that you had to go through when you was in grade school, when we was just learning the cognitive theories and stuff like that, really becoming attached to shit that's in society. Maybe you should go back and revisit that because you're speaking as a child. Andrew said, shots fired. Surprised at some of the terminology being used. You're above that, doc. I mean, you'll be amazed at what you assume people are above, but yet they come over here, yell, kicking, and screaming, which it really don't make any sense because you saying you are holding down that position, but yet you're over here cussing and screaming. So in short form, I dropped the 4-letter, access key, the link. There's the 4-letter access key. You know what I'm saying? If you choose to come on and speak your mind, cool. But just speak, like you got some maturity about yourself, man. Don't go all overboard and goddamn blow a blood vessel in your head and shit and have to call 911 and shit. And you short of breath. You about to lose your life due to self-inflicted interest. D-Ray Promotion on deck. What's good? He said laughing while reflecting on the situation isn't out of the ordinary. Definitely not evidence of Spence being this, not being the same. That's how the man laughs. Not at all. I'm not talking about how he laughs. I'm talking about the process for which he's choosing to have an outburst. I don't consider that laughing like that naturally. I just consider it to be somewhat like a reactive moment for whatever he's thinking about. I didn't think anything he said warranted that because back in the 2018 interview, I played it so you can hear the clarity in his voice, his rhythm, his quick response, and the fact that how clear he was. I wasn't looking for no laughing back then in 2018. All right. I was looking more so for the rhythm and flow of how he was addressing Ioli, how he was responding to those questions. That was the main point. I just made a mention of him laughing because, yeah, I do feel that something's entirely going on with him. I do. I mean, you can barely understand what he's saying at certain points. If anybody's sitting up here just because you're a Spence fan and you don't want to be true to yourself, then if Spence was your boy, you wouldn't even be true to Spence. You'll sit up there and won't tell him what you actually retaining, what you're processing, how your brain is calibrating what you're hearing. You wouldn't even tell him because you're afraid of what happened. You're afraid you won't be close to him no more. You wouldn't even tell him. This don't have nothing to do with fans. This has something to do with the reality of it. 2018, 4 years. I'm in my 50s and I still don't sound too much any different than I did 4 years ago. I'm just saying, he sounds really bad from 4 years ago. He does. 4 or 5 years ago, he sounds bad, man. It just doesn't seem like he's in his in that bubble. You know what I'm saying? Where he's mentally stable all the way, in having a dialogue. Not that he don't understand it. It's just like having pugilistica. They know what they want to say, but when they try to actually say it, they have slurred speech and everything. You know what I'm saying? It's not that a lot of people understand shit when they're fucked up. They can understand it, but they just can't process it to the point where it's time for them to regurgitate it. Their recall memory is cool neurologically, but when it comes time to physically say something, that's a different mechanic and it doesn't come out the way they want. That's just what I see. That's what I see from Spence. I don't know why people are getting upset about it. You know what I'm saying? Once again, YouTube has formats that allow people to come in on the ghost accounts. They allows people access to be deceiving. You know what I'm saying? To be disingenuous, to pretty much think that they're moving in a covert type operation by coming in here in ghost accounts. And they get to say and cry and whine and pew and freaking spot. You know what I'm saying? Adjust a tampon. They have a whole lot of shit going on. They can come on here and talk whatever they want to talk. But you complain about what I'm saying. Anyway, back to Spence. I just feel that it's a lot more underlying health problems going on with Spence. And the tough part about him, he's in a sport that there's no way he can go in there. You heard what Spence said, that he felt like, hey, I can go in there regardless of my eyes the way it is because I don't plan on getting hit. That's when he was good. That was before the accident. That was the old Spence thinking as if he was still that guy. You know what I'm saying? But now in 2022, for him to think he can go in there right, he must be out of his mind. That might have been the old Spence, back in 2018, thinking, hey, the younger me or the me before the accident, I can go in there and I won't get hit. But god dang, yes, you're the IBF champion right now. Kell Brook was hitting you, Spence. Kell Brook was hitting you. He was touching you up in that fight. You was taking punishment in that fight. I mean, let's be real. Like, it seemed like he was having some epiphanies doing this 2022 interview. There was certain things he was saying. I'm like, you really thought you was gonna go in there and think you wasn't gonna get hit just because you said it was an antiquated Manny Pacquiao. He was over the hill and everything else, but he wasn't over the hill when he beat Keith Thurman. But all of a sudden now he over the hill since you didn't step in there and grab the torch. It's just the fact that he even mentioned that he felt he could go in there against Manny Pacquiao and not get hit that much. I mean, that much cool, but not getting hit, period. Only thing can take one or two punches on the eye that's damaged, and you can end up like Israel Vasquez. You know what I'm saying? He used to come back, outside of the doctor's request. He ended up losing his eye. All because he wanted to make a paycheck and he felt like, he wanted to go against what the doctor's requests were for him to stay out a certain period of time. And then when it was all said and done, he ended up losing his eye. The bad thing about the eye, once it becomes damaged, you can't keep it in there. You just can't keep something like your eye in there if it's not getting any type of blood circulation and it's done. You gotta take it out. You gotta wear a patch. So that's my thought process on that. I don't think that guy who came up in here, he's gonna click the link, because when you click the link, people are gonna hear your voice. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna have to go through the reality of, okay, this is the real form of communication. We're talking to one another. And then if it's somebody who I recognize their voice, then that's even worse for them, because now they're coming in on a different count, and then they're probably not a doctor to begin with, so they really don't want to click the link, man. This takes us to if I think the Errol Spence will make it to your Dennis Uga situation. I don't think so. I don't know. I have doubt, optimism. This Errol Spence situation, you have too many people that's rallying as if this is a new beginning, and they're rallying like it's personal. That's the weird part about it. Like, they're taking shit off YouTube and acting like Errol Spence is their savior or something like that. No, this is boxing talk. Y'all not out here, trying to hunt down the people who's out here committing murders and everything like that, who's robbing people. Y'all not doing that shit. I don't see anybody trying to locate George Zimmerman. I don't see none of that. I don't see y'all up there protesting the guys who sit up there and killed George Floyd. I mean, what are y'all doing? Why are y'all taking this shit so serious? Like you still in the embryonic phase of maturity. What the fuck is going on with y'all? Why y'all all banding up together and acting like you ready to do life? You know what I'm saying? You ready to go take somebody out because they was talking about Errol Spence, about boxing. Not talking about him personally. Not talking about his kids. Not talking about his family. None of that shit. We're talking about boxing and what we believe him not to be. What I think him not to be at this point. But they'll be quick to call you soft and mention Dick. They love mentioning Dick, boy. I don't know what that's about. I always say a man that keep dick in his mouth so much, that means they have an appetite for this shit. For real. You keep on. If you can't have a conversation where it gets intense without using dick, what's that saying about you? If you're a man, if you was born male, then you have one of your own. You're in ownership and possession of one. But when you keep speaking of it out of your mouth, that tells me a different story about you. Something else ain't right. For real. You're enamored with something else. You're enamored with that other organ. I ain't never heard a bunch of grown men tell somebody, I ain't never in my life, never, y'all, told somebody, another man, to do that. Now, a woman that I was kicking with, yeah, in a nice way, in a seductive, you know what I'm saying, in a loving, sexual, to a romantic way, but, not a dude. Never told that shit. But times has changed. Times has changed. What's going on? Knockout Boxing on deck. What's good with you? It's going to be interesting to see your reaction when he shines against Ugas. Look, I'm not even thinking about him shining against Ugas because he might not even get to the light. That's talking about him taking a big step. He has to make it to the lights. Now, press conference isn't the lights. Press conference is just a formality to promote the fight. And Lord knows they need to promote the shit out this fight. They need to promote the shit out of it. Because what I'm thinking, when it becomes April or next month, I really believe people are going to start paying attention to this fight a lot more. Seriously. Start paying attention to this fight a lot more. But I'm just sitting up here. I'm optimistic about Spence making it to the remaining part of his training camp. And then even more telltale signs of red flags. Derrick James was sitting up there and he seemed so disinterested. It was like an ennui moment. He seemed bored, sleepy. He seemed like he did not want to be in the same space. What is up with that? I mean, he seems like he's lacking motivation to even listen to Errol Spence speak. What's going on with that shit? I'm hearing Jermell Charlo is not even training there full time like that. It might be something else going on internal to Fort Knox. You know what I'm saying? It might be something else going on internal to Fort Knox, man. Because I'm looking at the trainer's expression. I'm listening to Errol Spence. I'm looking at Derrick, this, that, and that. Derrick James did not seem like he was there for his fighter. It just seems like he was doing a Marshawn Lynch. He was only there because he had to be there. You know what I'm saying? That's the impression that I got from Derrick James. Real talk. But if you right, they'll knock out. If you right, bro. You know what I'm saying? If you right that he's gonna shine against Ugas, you right. You know what I'm saying? Because Ugas is not one of my favorite fighters. I respect what he's done in his life. You know what I'm saying? I respect his amateur pedigree. I respect what he was able to do for his family. That's beyond what a lot of us had to go through. Him being on the water the way he was and coming over here, being locked up. I mean, all the stuff Ugas had to go through, man. The sacrifice he made. Mad respect for Ugas. He's not one of my favorite fighters, though. D-Ray Promotions on deck. What's good with you? The times, they are changing. I'm expecting Spence to look like a Terminator in there. I don't want to sleep on Ugas, though. If Ugas want that work, Eclipse Ruiz beating AJ, in my opinion. This is no way a Ruiz AJ type of deal. Ugas is not a last minute replacement. All right. He's not a last minute replacement. He went in there and defeated Manny Pacquiao. He didn't step in for Pacquiao to fight Spence when Spence was supposed to face Pacquiao. That wasn't the case. So this is a legitimate matchup. You know what I'm saying? For the 3/4 of the titles that's in the welterweight division. So, you have the unified champion, of course, WBC and IBF, Errol Spence, and he's fighting, the WBA world champion, Yordenis Ugas. It's just like that. Now, if you're talking about upsets, listen, in my opinion, I don't even think it has to be that extreme to beat Spence. I don't even think it has to be that extreme. Like, Andy Ruiz versus Anthony Joshua was extreme. Like, he made Anthony Joshua quit. And that was after suffering the knockdown. But in this case, you haven't heard me talk about knockdowns and shit like that. You haven't heard me just create these scenarios that's going to make Spence look like he's in the worst position he ever been in, life or death, fight or flight type of situation. You never heard me say that. I've always stuck to what I said. I don't think Errol Spence is making it to the fight. That's all I've been saying. I haven't really spoke on the fight like that. I got to give it time to get within fight week. I need to get within fight week. I need to see if they're going to have an open workout. I need to get within fight week because there's a lot of training that's going on. And Derek, and from what I'm hearing, Derek James isn't the full-time trainer for Errol Spence. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, bro. Knockout, so you're reaching as usual when it comes to the topic. I mean, you can call it what you want. You have the right to your opinion. I mean, I'm reaching no more than what y'all saying over there about Spence's SHAG. You know what I'm saying? If that's not reaching with rubber arms, as if that piece of hair, that line of hair is going to do him any more justice. I mean, come on. Look, my participation in this fight, I'm not putting forth all that unnecessary energy to this fight. I'm just speaking about Spence in general headed into this fight. My energy is going to come if indeed we end up seeing or hearing the contract is being signed between Spence and Crawford. That's when I really pep up and start talking about something that I really truly want to talk about. But I haven't really been forthcoming, being all in, motivated, high energy for this fight with Ugas. It is what it is. It is what it is. I think Ugas will pull it out, though. I think Ugas will pull this fight out. I got some bets out there on Ugas. I got some bets. I have some bets out there for Ugas, man. And I'm not, people just think I'm betting on Ugas because I'm not a Spence supporter. I'm betting on Ugas because I think he's a better fighter in this situation. You know what I'm saying? I think, going through what he went through, the way he performed against Sean Porter, the way he's been able to look against a Manny Pacquiao, with people trying to, devalue the flame of his victory in defeating an 8th division champion. I mean, come on. If Spence would have defeated Manny Pacquiao, people would have been in the streets, goddamn, running up and down barefooted, sliding on the pavement, demonstrating their support for Errol Spence, the pain and joy of it all. Y'all would be out here running in traffic. But since, Ugas was the one who did it, Spence want to say, well, he didn't get a chance to pass the torch. Hey, that's your eye. Your eye was injured. You have to deal with that. In the process of dealing with it, just go ahead and give Ugas his just due and credit and keep it moving. In my own mind, I mean, it would eclipse AJ getting upset. I still disagree, Andrew, because I looked at AJ and his stature at the time on how people was looking at him as being this perfect boxer. It was look, it was crazy the way people thought AJ was this perfect boxer. I always say he was robotic. He was so predictable. Look at the Klitschko fight And you tell me how many times he reacted to the feints that Klitschko was giving him. It was so obvious. It was like every feint that Klitschko did. This is a Klitschko coming out. They sought him out of retirement. And Joshua was biting on every feint Klitschko threw. And Klitschko was in there to move around with Joshua, but ended up finding out he can whoop his ass. I don't think this is going to be the case with Ugas. I believe Ugas know he can beat Spence ass. He just want to go in there and prove it to the masses. That's all. In my own mind, I mean, it would eclipse AJ. I think this is a 50-50 fight. Hey, Coles, you have your right, man. You know, I think it's a 50-50 fight too. I think it's a 50-50 fight. Real talk. That upset is bigger than most. That upset is a bigger one than most. Yeah. Andy Ruiz and Anthony Joshua, absolutely. Knockout say Ruiz isn't the fighter Ugas, and AJ damn sure isn't the fighter Spence is. He did beat Joseph Parker, champion. He did defeat Charles Martin, even though it's a dive, champion. He did fight a Klitschko. A Klitschko in this scenario would be a Manny Pacquiao, right? So he did fight Klitschko for the vacant title. I mean, you know, he did knock out some people in between their non-title fights. Absolutely, he's a Spence. He's better than Spence, rather. Absolutely. Absolutely. Joseph Parker, undefeated. Joseph Parker was undefeated, bro. But we already know that the WBO, when it comes to the WBO sanctioned body knockout, we shouldn't mention that. Because Anthony Joshua, unlike certain people, he did face the WBO champion. He did win the title. I give him that. He did. Joseph Parker was undefeated. It was an epic upset. I was shocked to see AJ in the MSG ring. A lot of people were shocked to see him even come over here. And then not only that, the face a dog like Jarrell Miller. We all know Jarrell Miller had an attitude problem. Tony Boswell on deck, man. I see you. Much respect at WCS. In the chat, stop there in the show support and hit the like button. Salute just got off work, man. Salute to you, man. It's good you got employment and everything because prices are going up. Thank you for tuning in and stopping through the chat, man, and supporting the channel Real Talk. Tony Boswell on deck. D-Ray said, Uga said, let my homies out the pen. Yeah, man. You know, people was talking about how he's speaking on politics. I salute him for that. Real talk. I salute Ugas for standing up and speaking about letting his countrymen out of jail for whatever reason. And having a 15 count, a 20 count reflection on what's going on. Hey, real talk. Much respect to Ugas for doing that. I mean, over in the US, our shit is different. You know what I'm saying? We get RIP on our clothing line and stuff like that. And then if you was to go up here and say, hey, can we have a moment of silence for one of my friends that I grew up with? You know what I'm saying? It's different. But I know Ugas was saying, let's have a moment of silence about what's going on over against Ukraine and Russia. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it. But also, you know, for him to mention, you know, his Cuban countrymen to let him out, it's going to take more than that, really. It really is going to take more than that. But shout out to Ugas, man, doing upstanding shit. Gil says Spence with the layoff in his eye, being questionable versus Ugas, have a close fight with Porter and coming off a big win. This is a 50-50. Hey, Coles, it can be a 50-50, bro. What I'm saying is the reason why I played the audio because I seriously feel that Spence's speech is a bit more slurred. You know what I'm saying? And he's taken, even though it's very minute, when you're having a conversation and you're still young enough for you to have a dialogue back and forth, it's supposed to be quick, sharp, or whatever. Or, you know, people are going to say, okay, sometimes you're listening. I'm just saying, when you finally be able to speak and express yourself, people listen, and they are in tune to not only what you're talking about, but how you are speaking. And we all know that Spence sound different. He looked different. I don't even know why people act like that's something that's far-fetched and I'm fabricating this shit. No, I mean, that's what I see with my eyes, man. And I wear glasses, you know what I'm saying? I just bought some new prescriptions too. I see very, very good with them on. Ugas winning. Okay. I agree, Gil. Cole on long layoff caused a lackluster performance. I believe Ugas think he can beat Errol too. Errol say he's a big fish though. Cole, what's a big fish exactly? Explain that to me. What big fish are you talking about? You talking about a tiger whale? Because they're pretty much harmless. You talking about a tiger whale? Are you talking about an orca? Because they hunt in packs. Very, very intelligent fish. The orcas. Oh man, very intelligent. I love looking at shows dealing with them hunting and what they do. Very intelligent. But what big fish are we talking about? Great white? Beluga whale? You know what I'm saying? Every time I look at deep sea, you know, that fishing on the big catch, I always see those guys catching fish, catching crabs and all this shit. So I'm saying, what's a big fish to a fisherman? Crawford, he must have, you know, his fishing license, goddammit. Because what is a fish to a fisherman? It's food. It's food, period. A big fish to a fisherman is food. Remember, I told you that first. That's exactly what Errol Spence is to Crawford. Food. So I love when he say he the big fish, because goddamn, when it come time to skin him, fillet that shit and put it on the grill, cook it, it's gonna taste that much better, baby. Has Big Baby been out, put out a boxing? No, he's due to come back. It's just he had to serve his suspension, and of course, you have to make sure that there are preliminary tests being taken with his urine and everything to make sure he's clean. You know, he don't want to come back in here and test positive again. They're gonna end up giving him a much more severe punishment, man. His people have to make sure this fool ain't on 5 and 6 peds, illegal substances once again. They want to get paid too. It might be hard to pick up on if you can't get past the language barrier, but Ugas had energy at the presser. He did, man. He had very solid energy. Like, he was very attentive, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, he had this spirit about him. You know how, you know, people say you glowing or whatever. Ugas had that star glow going for him. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't as boring as I thought it would be, because as many times I seen Ugas in person, maybe about 6 or 7 times, right? I rode the elevator with him, you know, several times. That's when he had a little bit of hair, but he was always dressed up. Like, I ain't never seen Ugas. I've never seen Ugas, man, on site where he wasn't dressed. I'm talking about dressed to the impress during the daytime. Like, we're on fight week. Ugas is not on the card. But this dude is dressed to impress. I thought it was going to be a boring ass press conference because he don't speak English that much. I'm pretty sure Ugas knows and able to interpret some parts of English, but I thought it was gonna be extremely boring a little bit, but it wasn't. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't that much trash talking, but I guess Ugas saying what he's saying and Spence saying what he's saying, I guess it matched up, but it wasn't no Jamel Herring or Tony Harrison type shit. I mean, because you're talking about Ugas, he's an upstanding guy. In order for you to do that, you probably have to do something like Ricardo Mayorga did to Sugar Shane Mosley. You probably have to tap his girl on the ass, and I'm pretty sure at that point in time, Yordenis Ugas will catch a body. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see, you know, anybody tapping his girl on the ass like that and getting out of there alive. Cubans, they operate on a different set of rules, for real. I just don't see him doing what Sugar Shane did. Fake like you're gonna push the man. Nah. I see something going down from that point on to the fight that's gonna cost somebody their heart. Seriously. I just don't see Dennis Ugas letting that shit slide. For one, he wouldn't put his girl in that situation to get her ass slapped by another man like Sugar Shane Mosley did. And a lot of people I speak to, they think the shit was damn staged anyway. D-Ray say Bud Crawford the big fish hunter. That's what I'm saying. What's a fish to a harpoon, goddammit? What's a fish to a harpoon? Yes, Tony said yes, and I apologize for this, but the wreck had an impact on his physically speech and athletic ability. Spence Jr. had to let Danny engage him first to get into a boxing rhythm. In my opinion, he seemed slow. See, Tony up here speaking his shit. You know what I'm saying? He basically itemized some points that he's seen. He said the wreck had an impact on his physical speech and athletic ability. That's his opinion. That's what he's obsessing. I didn't hear anybody jump in here and start writing in all caps. Dude, what is going on? He said Spence Jr. had to let Danny engage. So pretty much, it's just like I said. I know I use different type of scenarios, but I still made it vehicle related. All right? Because vehicles in general to human beings, we can lose our lives. All I'm saying is the amount of individuals that I've seen down motorcycles with helmets. With helmets now. I'll be remiss to say if, me to get up here and explain to you that a possibility that arrow can be ejected about a soft top, a convertible, on the pavement and face nothing. Maybe there's a patch of grass over there. No. Even if it was grass over there, he still would suffer some type of impactful damage. And people have to understand, you don't know if he was flipping. People are set in this daydream as if Errol Spence was just thrown out the car and he was sailing through the air and landed on the pavement. What if Errol Spence was freaking flipping and his body started to descend and he hit the ground, whether it was head or feet first? Okay, if it was feet first, that would pretty much, I can assume that can soften the impact of what it would be rather than his head having that type of velocity being ejected from a vehicle and hitting the ground first. That would be different. What if he was flipping head over heel, boom, hit the ground? That's tough, man. Why aren't y'all understanding that just because, you're up here thinking I don't have to be a doctor for that. I've seen dudes die with helmets. I know people who died with helmets on. Helmets, man. When a head is in a helmet, it looks just fine. They just have a real bad motorcycle accident. Until you go over there and find out their brain is swelling up inside the helmet and you can't take it off. So they have to be rushed to the hospital. In the process of going to the hospital, the brain was bleeding and swelling up and they died. If they would have had the opportunity to get to a hospital and cut the helmet off, they would have had to remove a piece of the skull, let the brain swell outside the cranial and whatever that was, not to get all explicit details. And at some point in time when you have that much trauma to your brain, you do have tissues that are damaged. You have tissues that are damaged, man. Like I tell you, hey, Errol Spence looked bad in that photo. He looked bad. To even right now, 4 years later, where he was right there and the way he was today, it just still seemed like his face is a little bit rounder than it should be, in my opinion. I think it was, Mitch. I'm just saying, I think it was, bro. I think it was staged just to build up the fight even more. Because Sugar Shane still went in there and whooped that ass. I think it was, man. Because if you see his girl, as fine as she was fine, Mitch. She's gonna go in front of a guy like Mayorga and turn around and bend over to pick something up. That was staged, man. I would have never told my girl to go up there in front of a guy like Ricardo Mayorga. Never. Uga's trainer was looking like a proud father. Man, I'm telling you, they glowing over there in the Uga's camp, man. They seem like they glowing over there, bro. That ain't true. Spence went straight to Danny. I saw no waiting for Danny to engage. Mitch is on the defense tonight. No, Mitch is on the offense and defense. Man, Angel was begging Danny to engage. That's what I like about people who pay attention to boxing, man. D-Ray Promotion Spence Jr. used to have a steady rhythm, jab, jab. Force his opponent backwards. Danny come forward and start every exchange. Watch the film. Spence has never been a real counterpuncher. Tony told y'all to watch the film, goddammit. He said, watch the film. Don't let me pull up the fight now. Don't let me pull up the fight. Don't let me pull up the fight. You know what I'm saying? Because I know damn well I put up the fight. People gonna be like, oh, that's just, oh, I probably pretty much I won't even freaking have the audio on. Tony said Spence Jr. beat Danny, but let him start the exchange, then working off that instead of pushing the pace himself like he used to. He is hesitant to go to the body, is just my opinion. Mayorga gave her just a light cheek tap. The funny part was how he looked after he did it. Now, the funny part was how Sugar Shane looked, how Mosley looked after he did it. How, man? The way Sugar Shane looked is just like watching Jamar Charlo put his drink down after Jared Hurd came over there and pretty much gave you the energy that he was going to go over there to try to fuck up your brother. He gave you everything. He cussing you out and everything. And then reach around you and slap your brother. And you're going to put the drink down. Man, Ugas would do better than Danny Garcia. I also think, first of all, they're two different fighters, for sure. They're two different style fighters, Ugas and Danny. They are. They're two different style fighters, bro. Man, goddamn Danny Garcia waited against Sean Porter. Who would have thought Sean Porter was going to come out there and box? Sean Porter fought Yordenis Ugas somewhat like he fought damn Terrence Crawford and Julio Diaz. That's when Sean Porter didn't come in with the all brawling method. He really wanted to box, and then every now and then he get on the inside and mix it up. Ugas would do better than Danny Garcia. I think Spence will have a better performance than he did versus Danny. It ain't the same Spence. In caps, Tony says not the same Spence in cap. Is she still with Shane? No. Look, when you on that level, they come and go. They come and go for real. Like, she was bad. And man, she was super bad. From my understanding, they not. But what do I know? I don't want to talk on a man on if he's still with a bad one or not. I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely want to ask Shane, could he pass her my number? You know what I'm saying? So me and her can start our relationship goals. You know what I'm saying? So we can start working on ourselves. You know what I'm saying? While we still have time. He says Spence Jr. does look like a monster. I've been watching his workouts. I just don't like Ugas ain't laying down. And Ugas won that Porter fight, in my opinion. So Tony, where you been watching these eventful workouts at? Just please enlighten me. I haven't seen it. What workouts? You're not talking about the video clips, are you? You're not talking about the splice and editing that they did. The same thing they did with Mike Tyson when he was about to step in there with Roy Jones. All those clips that was in that video are not recent clips, man. Believe me. For anybody who works with Adobe Premiere, Adobe Pro can tell. You know what I'm saying? That is multiple video clips put together. And that's not even recent video clips, all of them. I mean, they look good. Once again, you know, people's dropping in my inbox saying I was hating and shit like that. I mean, I don't know if you have any other words to use. See, I haven't even really been talking about Crawford recently when it comes to Spence and Ugas. I just been pretty much keeping it surrounding this fight right here. I haven't even really been, you know, just stomping, you know, stumping to Crawford's beat that he's coming. You know what I'm saying? He's here. Know it. He ain't went nowhere. I haven't even really been, you know, talking about Crawford like that. I just been keeping it on Ugas and Spence, man. I haven't even really been saying that Terrence Crawford's still gonna step on Dane Spence whenever that time comes, if it comes. You know what I'm saying? That ain't changed. I still believe that. But the way things looking over there at PBC, I don't know, people. It seemed like the only one that's able to go around here and shop around is Canelo. And if you did it for Canelo, you can do it for Crawford. If you did it for Caleb Plant, you can do it for Crawford. I'm just saying, if you can get Caleb Plant, you know, the money that he wanted for his IBF title, and he's done much less than Crawford in his career, let's be honest, then I feel pretty goddamn good that Terrence Crawford will get what he's supposed to get. Seriously, I feel very, very satisfied and content that he'll get what he's supposed to get. That shit wasn't stage. Old girl was heated. Shane was confused as fuck. Nah, man. She was heated because she was a good actress. She was with Shane so she can get to the next level. You didn't see her on Husbands of Hollywood? Real Husbands of Hollywood? You didn't see her? Not to put the drink down. Didn't think it was edited though. It was him getting ready. Nah, it was edited, bro. Those is all you got to do is take a good sharp look at the footage, man. Please, somebody enlighten me on when that was. You know how long ago that was. That wasn't. Look at his haircut, man. Look at him in general. That could have been footage that they went through when he was going to face Manny Pacquiao. That could have been footage for whatever. That's edited footage from different time frames, timestamps. Ugas definitely ain't no slouch. It's different edits now. When I mean by edit, that mean you can put clips from different time periods together to make it seem like a video that you want to put out right now and convince the people that this is going on right now. Come on, man. It's the same shit they do on here. You can do voiceovers. You can do everything, man. We in a new era right now. We're in a technology era. You can do so much to video. But what I'm saying is editing, I mean, the process for which you're going to take various clips and put them together with music, color grade them, you know what I'm saying? Render them, play, make any other necessary changes, and then put it out. I mean, shit, this is high level shit. King Mitch, I have Spence Jr. by split decision. It's going to be a fight. Hopefully he is back to himself. Now Crawford, a different story. Bud has all the fundamentals. That we know. And one other thing he has, Tony. In my opinion, Bud has more dogs, and that's been co-signed by Roy Jones Jr. Terrence Bud Crawford has more dog in him. He has more dog in him than Errol Spence. More DOGGGG. He has more dog in him. Hold on for a second. Yeah, we back. Shane looked like he was sound asleep in the back seat and somebody yelled and woke him up. Shane was confused as fuck. Shane delirious. You know, Shane took a lot of punishment. He's a little bit punchy too. He's a little bit punch drunk too. You know what I'm saying? You can tell the way he speaks. But he's a Hall of Famer, man. Look how many fights he fought. Come on, man. Bud superior to Spence in all boxing criteria would be nice if we confirm it one day. And that's what it is. You know, every now and then I might speak heavy on it, but not with this fight because Errol Spence is facing Ugas, who has a belt. You know, so me being media, I'm going to speak on this particular fight. I'm still going to keep it 100. It's a 50-50 fight, in my opinion, you know, if it does happen. But due to, you know, the experiences and everything and the physical debilitation and the impact that the accident had on Errol Spence, I'm unsure if he'll be able to make it to the square. You know, because he still has to go through training. He's saying the eye is okay, but you know when he speaks, you know he's blinking. I don't know what's going on with that because I don't blink that many times when I'm speaking. But I'm just making up stuff. People gonna start saying I'm making up stuff. I'm just paying attention to shit. That's all. I'm just paying attention. That's all I'm doing. I'm paying attention to certain things that's going on with Spence because I wanna know. I'm the one that's sitting up here saying he might not make it. And I have my reasons for that. So every time I get an opportunity since he stopped on Kevin Iole, I pay attention. This and mentioning Kevin Iole, right? So everything is being said and you know, people choosing sides and getting angry. Listen, I'm not seeing any of y'all with a freaking Errol Spence coming over here to y'all channel. I already issued a challenge out to these Errol Spence hardcore channels over here. If you're gonna plan to go out to Texas, man, I want to see somebody. I challenge y'all to get an interview. Anybody can get a picture. You know what I'm saying? A picture is easy work. But for me, I don't want to put yourself in my shoes on what I do and you know what I have. Like I'm not telling you to have a credential around your neck, but you know, let's come on, let's be real about some of these people that's always concerned about the numbers of World Combat Sports. Like, get a credential around your neck. Get a credential and go get a dang interview with Errol Spence. Interview him. There's so many of y'all hardcore Spence channels out there, and I don't see him on your channel. I don't see him on your channel. And I'm speaking to the ones that call themselves calling me out. My favorite fighters are all interviewed more than one time. I have a picture with Derrick James. I have it. I mentioned to the people how initially the first time I see him and he went off for no damn reason. I still took a picture with him though, just to have it for my archives. I don't even think I ever put it up until last night. I don't think I ever put it up till last night because I had people in my inbox being stupid. Hold up for a second. The challenge is out there. I want you all to find a way to get an interview with Errol Spence or Derrick James. Somebody. If y'all are hardcore Spence fans, somebody, I want an interview or something. Y'all talking about numbers. Who gives a fuck about numbers if you can't even get a hold of the fighter? I want to see you all get a hold of the fighter that you are supporting, like I have. Deontay Wilder, interviews. Terrence Crawford, interview. Seen on several occasions. Pictures, too many pictures. Several pictures. Teofimo Lopez, interviews. I want to see these channels go up there and get an interview with Spence so we can see it. Because really, I ain't been the one to brag on myself, but hey, too many people out here talking and running their mouth as if I'm not using my own content. I got my own pictures. You know what I'm saying? I use a lot of my own content. I edit my own shit. All that. And people just acting like I'm just jumping on here talking about Spence and that's all who I talk. No, that's not true, bro. You just hating. Like you tell me. You just hating. But peep this though. And look, y'all need to go on my IG and check out all the content I dropped on my IG. You know what I'm saying? I had to put a small percentage of the body of work that I have completed over by myself. Man. I need for y'all to go check that out. How can I have this? Look, I'm trying to see other channels have this though. There's a lot that's going on in this picture. Like, look at this. Like, look at that picture. Not only is that Errol Spence's trainer, but I have a credential around my neck. A credential around my neck. You want to know where that's at? That's in Texas. That is in Texas, y'all. That's a couple of years ago, I think. And they want to talk about numbers. That's you covering the fight, people. You see where I'm at? I'm on the floor. And the stands is up there. You see them? I'm just saying, man, y'all need to chill with everything else, man. I'm just putting it out there. I got receipts all day long with this shit, man. My receipts is my content. That's all I'm saying. That's my content. The challenge is, man, go out here and get an interview, a one-on-one interview with your favorite fighter. Because I have interviews with legends. You know what I'm saying? I have interviews with people. I do. I have interviews with people that's real big in the sport. And people need to go take a look at my IG so y'all can stop dropping me shit in my inbox. I don't know how many pictures, how many times I done chopped it up with Freddie Roach. I don't know how many times I done chopped it up with Freddie Roach, bro. But anyway, back to, look, I even have a picture with You know, another favorite fighter people have, one of the picture I got with Devin Haney. You know, this was the same night him and Teofimo Lopez linked up. If I'm not mistaken. No, that might have been another. That might have been the same night. Because he had glasses on, right? Yeah, that might have been the same night. That might have been the same night. Real talk. I got the same footage that was posted out here online. Let me get back to the chat. Get back to the task at hand. Dallas medical test different than Las Vegas. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, D-Ray. I know exactly what you're talking about. And Georgia test different than Dallas. Shit. Absolutely right. What D-Ray Promotions just mentioned is absolutely correct. Dallas medical test different than Las Vegas. Now, somebody tell me what he mean by that. What does he mean by that? Shane has one of the best resumes in boxing. He does, man. Rest in peace, my boy Forrest. You know, man, Vernon Forrest, man. Rest in peace to you, my brother. I'll tell y'all something. My last fight was tough. My brain got rattled twice. I was seeing bright lights and throwing up for days. Sometimes I wonder if I was got lingering effects. Wow. Boxing is no joke now. Boxing is no joke, man. Hopefully you end up getting better, man. Boxing is no joke. Imagine the fighters. Look, a lot of people don't even understand the magnitude of it all. You're talking about some of these kids that's been sparring since kids. They've been getting hit in the head since kids. That's just like one sport I never put any of my kids in is full contact football. Full contact football. A second sport, skateboarding. Even with health insurance, skateboarding is crucial. Full contact football as a kid is crucial. And then boxing, these kids might wear headgear, but some of these kids are still getting knocked the fuck out. As kids, they're getting knocked out. Everybody has their own individual limit to how much trauma their head can take. Absolutely, I agree. I say that about Amir Khan all the time. I say it about Anthony Joshua. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of fighters out here that they always say they don't have a chin, but really neurologically, their makeup is different. You know what I'm saying? There's some dysfunctionality in there. There's nothing they can do about it. It's just the way they wire. You know how you always hear the saying, that's the way they wire? It's true. Some people wire different. Some people get hit and they can keep on going. They tough as hell. Some people get hit, they out. That's why you always have people say, well, so-and-so's tough. He can take some punishment. He's wired. She's wired different. They're wired different, man. Like Amir Khan, there's nothing Amir Khan can do. And it's amazing he's made it this far. You know, thank God for his hand speed and what he was able to, I don't know, master. What he was able to master in the sport of boxing with a weak chin like his. You know what I'm saying? It's amazing. But he's wired a certain way that his brain shuts off. Just off little impact, his brain shuts down temporarily. Tito Trinidad, you know, gets dropped, he gets stronger. He gets madder. He want to fight. Anthony Joshua, I believe, is the same way. Anthony Joshua, he's not that dude. And then what's bad, Dillian White is gonna be so fucked up. Like, he's already talking crazy. Dillian White is already talking crazy. Give him another 5 to 6 years, and he's gonna be damn near, you can't understand the word he's talking about. Come back, I got 50 that Spence makes it to the fight. That's too easy. That's too easy, Mitch. I ain't trying to give you, look, I'm not trying to give you money like that, bro. I got to save that type of funding for the grand finale if it happens. Me just giving you walk up, walk up bet. You have people, Mitch, do you understand what you just asked? Because you have people listening. you have people that out here that's so angry at what I'm saying about Spence that they will sit up there and go put letters on Spence driveway. Please, Spence, make it to the fight so WCS can lose $50. Please, please make it. I want to see him lose 50. I'm telling you, man, these mugs will be out there dropping letters off and shit, knocking on his door, running away with a leather taped to the door. Please, we're depending on you. Also, I can lose $50, dog. I can't give you that bet, bro. Just a walk up bet? Hell no. Hell no. I can't do that. Because then it would be look. Nah. I can't do that, bro. It wasn't a sanctioned boxing match. It was a dirty ass street fight. Oh, damn. So you didn't fight in a sanctioned bout, bro? Like, man, look. You just I'm not gonna mention any names, but today I was supposed to cover a fight, man, and this particular person is making Georgia look bad. You got fighters and had their people drive from great distances only for that certain fights to fall out. When you have damn near 10 fights and all of them are falling out, and you end up with 2 fights, and you ain't letting the people that's purchase tickets and everything and purchase tables know that you got 2 fights, and you're screwing fighters over, trying to short them on food voucher money and shit like that. See, that's the shit right here. It's not going to allow Georgia to grow the way it should in boxing, because we got promoters out here. I don't know how they even live with themselves, some of these promoters. Some make the shit happen, seriously. Some make the shit happen the right way. Others, man, I don't know how they even walk around and feel safe the way they be screwing people over. I just had people down here and I was chopping it up. I just posted the interview up there on my YouTube. I went over there and showed this person support. I fuck with this fighter. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it got bad. You know, bring your family down here, your peoples fly down to see you got there and get back in the ring. And man, all these people are down here for these fighters, and the promoter, the fights are dropping out for whatever reason. And you have all these people to play slot fees and all this other shit. People wasting money on hotel rooms. And then they try to sit up here and say, well, they'll savor the moment by going out to the clubs. Yeah, you can go out to the club. There's plenty of clubs in the A. Real talk. There's plenty of clubs in the A. That's all I'm going to do. I ain't mentioning no names. But you a shady motherfucker. You know who you are too. And I don't give a fuck if you listening either. You a shady motherfucker, man. White his head knocked back a lot. I'm glad he finally got a big fight. I hope it's his last one. He had a big fight already, Andrew. He got knocked out by Anthony Joshua in the 7th round. That was a big fight. He had another big fight with Alexander Povetkin. This was supposed to put him in the position that he's in now. He got knocked the fuck out. And then he came back to a freaking drug-induced motherfucking ramen noodle bath. Goddamn Alexander Povetkin, because he looked like somebody washed him in shrimp and beef ramen noodles before he walked to the ring. He could barely stand up, went in that motherfucker, and didn't even look like the Alexander Povetkin that fought him the first fight. He gets the win. Then he go through a debacle where it's all about the money now. He want to go to court. So it seems like he was emulating Deontay Wilder going to arbitration. But for him, bro, come on now. If you didn't think 80-20 was feasible, you never should have signed your dotted line. You never should have let that ink dry. That was your fucking fault. If you're going to take 20%, man, and then you try to go and say, oh, man, I need more than that. And then you don't show up at the press conference, the first presser. It just make Dillian White look bad. And on top of that, you know, the dude has early signs, man. Boxing is a tough fucking sport. Look, I don't think people understand how hard it is to to basically understand that you're wearing bigger gloves in sparring. And the gloves is not to protect your opponent's face, bro. I don't think a lot of people understand what the glove is. It's protection of the hands, man. There's no way you can go in there and spar different sparring partners bare knuckles. You will have fucked up hands. Your hands have small bones. If you're fucking hitting the bone of your opponent over and over again, you're going to break your hand. You got to heal, break, heal. You have soft, fragile hands. So therefore, that's why they increase the glove size when you're sparring. Not so it can feel fluffy to your opponent. It's so you won't be breaking your fucking hand putting in all those rounds. And then you got to go over there and hit the bag. You got to go through drills. You got to do this, and this. Man, come on, bro. White had his head knocked back a whole lot. Ramen noodle bath. He did, man. He was just noodle legs all the way down to the ring. You didn't see that shit, man? I said, man, this is no way the same Alexander Povetkin is coming to fight Dillian White a second time, because what they really wanted was for Dillian White to get the shot at Tyson Fury, because he's been out there just like Abney Yildirim was for Canelo Alvarez. He's just been waiting around just like Gennady Golovkin has for the trilogy. Dillian White has been placed out there like, just a hanger, man, just a long hanger in the closet, man, just hanging there. Ain't nobody putting shit on that hanger, nothing, just sitting in the closet doing nothing. And then all of a sudden, he gets his opportunity, and it's overshadowed because he's taking an 80-20 split. Crazy. And then you got Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is probably saying to himself, damn, I really need Deontay Wilder back in here, because this Fury dude is just, I mean, he's not even close to the fun I had with people tuning in for Wilder Fury. People was actually tuned in for that shit. People wanted to interview. People wanted to know what he had to say. But for Dillian White know that Tyson Fury has a mouthpiece. He knows he can talk his shit. So Dillian White is going to be very careful about walking up in there thinking he can out-talk Tyson Fury. You can't. Not talking out the side of your face the way you do. No. The only person that can probably do that is Derek Chisora. He can probably give you a good presser. It's only so many. Deontay Wilder was, until he just stopped talking. He didn't want to talk no more. I don't blame him. The talk was over. But yeah, man. 80-20 out of 40 plus million is more than Dillian White bum ass is worth anyways. Them boys about to put old Frank Warren out of business. Wembley Stadium about to be looking like the Coliseum does today. Damn, you gotta understand one thing, that the PPV prices are much lower over there. The PPV prices are much lower over there, man. So I don't think it's going to be empty. I think they're going to fill up the seats pretty good, man. Because right now, they don't know what's going on with the Joshua Usyk situation. Their emperor, you know what I'm saying? Their golden boy doesn't have his titles anymore. Alexander Usyk has him. Usyk is over there, engaged in defending the country. So the British boxing fans are pretty much lost right now. They're scrambling around and trying to find out, damn, we got to go back to supporting Tyson Fury. Shit. Man, Joshua, you fucked us over, bro. Seriously, you fucked us over. Women going under after Fury versus White. Shit about to be looking like Sochi games after Russia had those winter games a few years back. Can't make you think it's gonna flop. It's sold out from what I heard. Then they sell like 85,000 in the first day. You know, if I'm correct. Didn't they do some solid numbers? 85,000. There's an old video out there. Shout out to Mark Nash on deck. There's an old video out there that allegedly shows White dropping Fury in sparring. Is it real? Is it fake? That I don't know. I know the video you're talking about. Okay. It was a lot of rumor mill that Fury was dropped to the lead up with Wilder. And then you had a video that came out of, David Hay back in the day giving the wire. Wow, I mean, it's shit all over the place, man. Do I believe Dillian White has an opportunity, a window early in the fight to catch Tyson Fury? I do. I believe he has an opportunity because his mentality, Dillian White's mentality, is to go out there full force, drop everything he has, and just like Dillian said out of his mouth, if he gets chinned, he gets chinned, but he's gonna go out there and fight. I believe he has that reckless abandonment to go out there and get knocked the fuck out. I totally co-sign and agree with what he's saying. He's gonna go all out from the opening bell and try to knock Tyson Fury out. And if he get knocked out, he don't care. Come on, just look at what his words was once he awakened after the Alexander Povetkin knockout. I want a rematch. I think I was doing good. I was winning the fight. I want a rematch. He was saying he want a rematch, bro. This man was just put to sleep to the land of Nod, sent to the land of Nod, bro. And when he came to his conscious state, he said, I wanted the rematch. That's crazy. Is Fury versus White bigger fight than Khan versus Brook? I don't think so. Fury is a bigger star. Fury right now is a bigger star, believe it or not. I mean, granted, as much as I hate to say this shit, it's a lot of people that fuck with Fury because he's just that dude. He's just that tall, goofy, tough, dude that, you want to walk up to him and slap him in the head, but you're going to get your ass beat. That's if, unless you got them wheels on it, you can run away. I don't know. 81,000 of these people will demand a refund. Not once the bell ring, you in it, you committed. And not once the bell ring, dog. Once the bell ring, it's done. It ain't no motherfucking refund. And then, just like I was talking, the fight cannot happen. Well, a fight of that magnitude, yeah, I'm pretty sure they'll refund people their tickets. They are heavyweights, and because Fury is undefeated and dethroned Wilder. Yep. That's the big deal right there. And also, Fury was co-opted on the magazine with Teofimo for Fight of the Year. We all know that's some biased BS. You know what I'm saying? Because Teofimo Lopez should have been on there by itself. The reason why I'm saying that is because Deontay Wilder was never put up on a magazine. No one was never up here saying that Deontay Wilder was the top heavyweight, number one heavyweight. So only not until Tyson Fury went in there and took the belt, that they want to say, oh, he defeated Deontay Wilder. But how can you defeat someone that you wasn't praising as being the top heavyweight in the sport? Like, all the criticism was like, he didn't do this, this, and this. You had all the cons for him, but when Fury defeated him, you put it up there like, oh, the pros for Fury is he defeated Wilder. So we're considering that an upset, one of the biggest upsets, and we put him on the magazine. But all along, Wilder's reigning and beating people, and he allowed Tyson Fury to be a part of a trilogy. He got no credit. King Mitch is sold out in 90 minutes. Who else is doing that right now? The prices are different there, Mark. You can't do that shit over here in the US because the prices aren't as cheap as over there across the pond. Bring Tyson Fury and Dillian White over here and see if that shit sell out. And also, what's the ticket? What we talking about? What's the allotted ticket sales? What's the number of seats? Are we talking about overall Wembley? We talking about the entire Wembley Stadium, or a certain amount of tickets? That's what I want to know. I want to know the ticket numbers. Because you bring that shit over here, please, it can sell out if it's like, 8,000 tickets, a lot of tickets. Bro, he beat Wilder 2/3. He's a megastar now. I can't disagree that Tyson Fury isn't a megastar. All I was saying is they didn't pretty much evaluate Wilder as being this big star until he lost his title. For real. He lost his title, and Tyson Fury was rewarded for getting the title off Wilder, who they didn't give any praise to begin with. Not only that, they put him on the magazine. How can you sit up here and say he a lemon, but somebody else buy it? All of a sudden that lemon has value now. And all they did was goddamn take the keys. How? Well, that was a poor analogy on my part, because if a celebrity bought a lemon, then a celebrity can boost the appraisal on that lemon to a certain point and then resell it. This was Liza Minnelli car right here. The prices just went up. This car was purchased by Lionel Richie. He actually thought about the song all night long, all night. I'm just popping shit. UK would show up for that scrub ass fight. Fight ain't shit to me though. I mean, it is, man. It is because Tyson Fury in it. Like, I agree with Mark said. Tyson Fury is that star right now for beating Wilder, but he doesn't have anybody else to dance with right now that's available. You know what I'm saying? We gotta wait and see what happened with Joshua and Usyk. It's nobody else to dance with except White. And people really don't give White that chance to go in there and do something. Like, if Dillian White goes in there and defeat Tyson Fury, then he would get a part of the torch. His name would be solidified in the heavyweight ranks at this point for defeating Tyson Fury and giving him his first loss. Dillian White would have been able to do something Deontay Wilder wasn't able to do. Imagine that. What if Dillian White is able to go in there and stop Fury? Because I don't see him going 12 rounds and defeating him. I don't see it. But what if he's able to go in there and stop him via knockout? Is it a rematch clause in there? Is Deontay Wilder going to, come back to the sport early off his ayahuasca? I would definitely tell him. I call him up and say, "Hey, Wilder, come knock this guy out, man. The belt, you become 2-time champion, man. Come on, man. Come back. White is a star over in England. Fury damn sure is too. It's a big fight for them. I get it. White is a star. See, people be using wordplay over here. They'll put superstar and star. A lot of individuals that we know on that level are stars. We know them to be a star because they're where they at. People identify with them. But Dillian White, a star? Look, I know there's sometimes falling stars, man. Do you want to put another word in front of that, falling star? Because he was just asleep on the bottom rope, like Bermain Stavern was, man. Like, it was bad. It was real bad there, Andrew. Their money has more weight. WCS, that was 2 out of 3 to this day. What you mean by 2 out of 3? I know they follow trilogies 2 out of 3, yeah. But the 2 out of 3 is, you just can't ignore the fact that even when they was heading, to the rematch, people wasn't giving him credit for anything. You know what I'm saying? They didn't give him any credit for as long as he was reigning as WBC champion. He really didn't. I mean, what really truly happened after Tyson Fury got the belt? It was scandal, this, that, and the other. It was so much talk about cheating, over and over again. And then finally, after the pandemic and everything else, we get the next fight. And now he goes out on his shield. So yeah, that boosts him up because he became the WBC champion. But then how do you even continue to shine in the spotlight when you don't have another body, another name out there like Deontay Wilder to give you that notoriety, that shine, that attention? He don't have anybody. It's nobody. Usyk is not Deontay Wilder. Joshua, he has the same amount of losses as Deontay do. But a big part of us still want to see Wilder versus Joshua. But I don't think Joshua's going to take that fight. I think he's going to try to go back in and fight Usyk, whatever the case. But I would want to see Wilder face Joshua and Fury face Usyk for the undisputed titles. I always thought Joshua sucked. Period. They love them some Dillian White over there. I don't care what anybody say. Wow. They do? Is this the local pub you're talking about there, Andrew? Is this a boxing community you're speaking on? I'm just trying to find out the group setting. Is this a control group that they're doing a study on? And everybody has had 3 to 4 drinks already? I'm not understanding where's this coming from. I don't proofread a lot. Now you got to proofread, man. You writing songs and shit. You got to proofread. Fuck how much their currency weigh. All them fighters have to come to America to pop. They do, but some of them content with the amount of money they getting over there. You know what I'm saying? The billionaires to be backing these promotions. Some of them benefit off that shit. But see, Dillian White has been over here to fight already. That's true. We know Tyson Fury's been over here to fight already. If I'm in White's corner, this is my plan. Step on the gas. We got about 3 or 4 rounds to mug Fury. You know what, Andrew? I can see right now you're in the medical field too. So let me suggest this to you. Why don't you get some people around there just to donate enough money for you to catch a flight over there, right? Take some medical supplies over there because Dillian White's gonna need it. You know what I'm saying? Take some smelling salts over there, and take some gauze. Take anything to revive him. Some IVs and shit. Go over there. If you feel he's gonna win with that plan you talking about, you think Dillian White has enough to go full throttle 3 or 4 rounds for Fury? Mug him? Look, Fury is a mug. Fury is a mug. He looked like a mug. He is that guy. That was because it was said how cheap the tickets were. Fury sleeps White if he steps on the pedal that early. He don't have the cardio to do that shit, bro. Look, for Dillian White to go full speed, I say about 2 rounds. I would say 2 rounds. You know what I'm saying? Do not give Tyson Fury time to get, his timing down with Dillian White's rhythm. It's gonna be over. Once Tyson Fury start putting together his combinations and getting the timing down of Dillian White, it's a wrap. Somebody call in the ambient patrol. Hurry. Full disclosure, I don't know what anybody in England thinks. Man, don't do that. Y'all the ones start talking about, ticket sales, they sold out. Yeah, if the ticket's $7 a piece, you know what I'm saying? $12.50 for the dang floor seats. Shit is hell yeah, it's gonna sell out. White doesn't have the power to KO Fury. You must sleep Fury or else he's getting his sloppy ass up. We seen that with Deontay Wilder for sure. So unless something has changed in the register, Tyson Fury has proven he can get up, especially in the trilogy. He's not gonna dance with Fury, that's for sure. Man, y'all really talking about this fight like it's important. Y'all really talking about this fight as if it's important, man. Let me go over here. I know I'm surprised y'all not even looking at the other fights that's supposed to be on. I told somebody the other day, I was like, man, I have enough room on my PVR for this fight card. Let me see if it's still on. UFC 272, Covington and Masvidal. They just had their ceremonial weigh-ins. Trying to check out this. Hold on for a second. I'm trying to check out this top rank card. Because then people be saying, hey man, you don't cover all the cards, like you used to. I do. But I've been focused on the ADC trials in BJJ, the qualifications. Because I'm really trying to go to an ADCC championship. That shit is fire. And plus, you gotta decompress from boxing sometime. You have to decompress, people. Bro, I just hear 85K, they are petitioning to add 5K. Yeah, I saw the article that was out there that they wanted to add. I didn't hear it was 5K, but they wanted to add another 15 to even it out of the 100. That's what I heard. They wanted to add another 15 to even it out of the 100. There go the Garcia clan up there. Tanajar. Man, this is a wild sport, man. Going through fight camp to get in there. Hopefully your fighter wins. Getting on the plane all the time. Going to the hotel. Eating the food. No wonder these trainers are fat. Oh, shit. Trainers should be the first, in the best shape. But damn. If you got to come back from a plane ride on Saturday night or Sunday morning, and then have a little bit of time and fly back out on a Wednesday of the next week to get over there to another, man, that's crazy, bro. Hotel living, boy. Hotel living. I'll come back. Who you got in Covington versus Masvidal? Good question, man. Good question. Now, though I don't like Colby Covington, I'm going for Masvidal to answer your question. Though I don't like Colby Covington, I think when it comes down to his wrestling and his boxing, I think he has better wrestling and boxing than Masvidal, and I think it's going to play a role. But Masvidal can wrestle too. Do we have enough punching power to stop Masvidal? It's 4-ounce gloves, man. I mean, we seen Kamaru Usman knock the shit out of Masvidal and punch him, hammer punch him while he was knocked out. And then when they asked him why he gave him punches while he was knocked out, Kamaru Usman said because it was super necessary. You know what I'm saying? The same thing that Masvidal said about Ben Askren when he knocked him out. He said, why'd you hit him? He was already asleep. It was super, it was super necessary. But I'm going for Masvidal. Masvidal just signed. Look, Masvidal just signed a new contract with the UFC, and this man had double-digit losses. That's what I like about the UFC and mixed martial arts. He has double-digit losses, man, and he just signed a new contract, dog. How is that possible? Because of his selling power. That's the MMA type of aura that's going on. How can you do that? How can you come off a knockout and you just sign a fresh contract? You sign a fresh contract, dog. That shit is crazy. Let me pull something up. Masvidal at the current time, right? I have to share this so people can see it, right? Now check this out. This man just signed a brand new contract, and he's 35-15. He's 35-15, and Masvidal is 37 years old. 37. Look at this record. Kamaru Usman. Back-to-back losses. Beat Nate, Ben, Darren. Lost to Stephen Thompson and Damon Maia. Need I say more? That's why I fuck with MMA. That's why I fucks with MMA right there. I hate to say it, but I think Covington Hoaz might be the better fighter. That's what I just said. I think, Covington has, the better all-around skill set with his boxing and everything, but I like Masvidal. I actually seen Masvidal several times when he was coming up through the street scene to the MMA. Yeah, man. Like, Masvidal's came a long way. Early when he was taking those L's, he was doing it because, he was trying to make money. And, a lot of that time he didn't have a damn set school and all that. Somewhat like Tyron Woodley. 19 stone 10, that's big, dude. I'm sitting here wondering why Showtime doesn't have the fight on tonight. like a jackass. This shit is on ESPN. Yeah, it's on ESPN. Absolutely. It's a top rank affair. It's a top rank affair, dog. It's a top rank event, Andrew. This is not a PBC event. People asking me about Mike Tyson and Logan Paul. Are they fighting? Right now, the way Logan Paul, I flinched. I said, no, it's not even enough. It's no, I'm not doing it. But Logan Paul and Arnold Schwarzenegger was hosting a slap. The slap contest is getting big. Who would have thought this will get the way it was? But it's getting big like arm wrestling. Like they really having slap contests and dudes are basically volunteering. So Logan Paul was hosting that shit with Arnold. So when it comes down to him potentially facing Mike Tyson will go in there and face him. He will fight him because they have rapport. They're rich. They love to go out there and get a check. And right now, man, these are two individuals that I call the goofball brothers. They making money, man. These dudes are making incredible amount of dollars. And they're bringing these high-end celebrities with them. They're breeding aura. They're emitting aura of money. So for him to step in Mike Tyson, yeah, sure. How much you gonna pay me? They're gonna send the contract today and tomorrow. Okay, make sure I have my money because you know how I get when I don't have my money. I'm going to check on my Wii house. I get back, Logan. You let me know. Man, they bring money, bro. They goddamn bring money for real. This fight is on right now. It's not that bad of a fight, but I might be covering the UFC card. I don't know. But hold up. Hold up for a second. So just in case if you choose to know, before I close this out, the UFC 272 fight card is the main event. Kobe Covington, Jorge Masvidal, co-main Rafael dos Anjos, Renato Moicano. That's gonna be a good fight. And then Edson Barbosa versus Bryce Mitchell. That's gonna be a very good fight. Kevin Holland loses, come back. You know, that's what I like. They recycle their fighters and give them a chance to make a paycheck. Kevin Holland versus Alex Oliveira. Then Sergey Spivak versus Greg Hardy. Greg Hardy is back in the saddle. And who else is known on here? There's no need for me to go deep. They got Tim Elliott down there. Let me click on Tim Elliott. This is a perfect example. Tim Elliott is 17-12-1. 17-12-1. And he's lost. Oh, he's still attached to the UFC. They just been giving him soft touches. Wow. That's why I fuck with MMA, especially the UFC, man. That's what's up. Mike and Paul would be taking bong rips in the locker room together before their ring walk. Yeah, man. You know, Mike Tyson, imagine Logan Paul stepping there with a legend like Mike. Ugh. He already stepped in there with freaking Floyd. Didn't get paid. At least with Mike Tyson, I think he knows he's going to get his money if it happens. He's just making it look bad. You know what I'm saying? He's making that shit look real bad. I mean, Floyd, when you ask him about money, he say he made smart investments. So I think most of his money might be tied up in his investments where he can't just come out. No, I'll take that back. Because if the fight did what they say it did, then the money was there. You know what I'm saying? The money was there. He just didn't give it to him. Whatever. No, he ain't slap fighting Schwarzenegger. They dared to host. They dare to host. Both of them are dare to host the slap fighting competition. He's not slap fighting Arnold Schwarzenegger. Are you serious? Man, Arnold might die, man. All that damn abuse he took, bodybuilding and shit. Man, please. All them movies he did. Did you see all that punishment he took in damn the Terminator? Come on, man. Who recovers from that? The man got thrown in molten lava. I'm pretty sure his burns haven't healed up yet. That's a lot of scar tissue, dog. Oh man. Y'all need to do something better with your lives for real. For real. Y'all just need to do better stuff with your lives for real. You're up here frequently goddamn mongering around on YouTube and shit. But I might cover that YouTube. I mean that UFC 272. I'm thinking about it. I don't know. No, he ain't slap fighting no Arnold Schwarzenegger, man. Yeah, they're hosting a slap fighting contest. It's free on Logan Paul's YouTube tomorrow. I'll have to check that out. Now look, this is gonna be a perfect example on how they're bringing traffic to them. If Logan Paul is indeed having this on his YouTube for free, I almost guarantee you're going to see thousands of people tuned in because they have millions of followers now. But he's bringing you a slap fighting contest that nobody knows who the fuck it is because these guys are not very known like that outside in the boxing and just combat sports community, period. So, but Logan Paul, if he's bringing them to his channel for traffic, it's probably going to be thousands of people tuned in. Real talk. And we don't even know. The only thing we know is, oh man, this is going to be very interesting. They slapping each other. Yeah. But we don't know who the fuck they are. We don't know. Yeah, Arnold's old. Very old, man. But yeah, man, I gotta roll, man. Till next time, man. Appreciate y'all pulling up. Real talk. Appreciate y'all pulling up. And turn up and tune in the World Combat Sports. Salute.